Is it inflation or just your imagination? Is the economic data even making sense or even useful at this point? Ultimately, what the Fed chairman sees in the economic tea leaves, or the morning oatmeal for that matter, is not within your control. However, protection of your retirement savings is in your control. This should be motivated by knowledge and confidence, not fear. If you think you may be falling behind in your financial goals, see the video description to access the free Inflation Retirement Calculator to make sure that you are on track. Also, please share your experience in the comments. To discuss why gold works, why fiat currencies ultimately fail, and why gold and other scarce assets act as an insurance policy against risk, we will hear from CEO of Shapeshift, Eric Voorhees, macro analyst and investor Lyn ALden, economist and investor Keith Weiner, economist, White House advisor, and author Jim Rickards.
If I had to pick one word to describe risk in capital markets, I would say confidence. People like to talk about Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin money? Well, it's a kind of money. I wouldn't argue with that. But at various times in history, feathers have been money, clamshells have been money, silver, gold, paper, Bitcoin, digital, crypto. They can be money if people have confidence. But the minute confidence is lost, they're not money anymore, and whatever you had in that is wiped out. So then the question is, well, why should I have confidence? That's a matter of trust. Do I trust the policymakers? Are they helping the economy, or are they trying to rip me off with inflation? Are they lying to me? Well, just look at any opinion poll. People don't have much trust in policymakers these days. So I would say that confidence is close to a tipping point. They take it for granted. They assume that the dollar is king and always will be king, and how could you possibly question the confidence of the dollar? Well, people are questioning it, and more will do so in the future, but it is one of these tipping point things where it's not like a long, slow, gradual decline. It can happen very quickly, and that's the point. Right. Well, the first piece of advice I would give is position now. Don't wait till this happens, because when it happens, it could happen very quickly, and B, you may find that the things you want to go into are not available at any price.
Almost every single developed country today developed back under a hard money standard, back under when gold was money. People were able to save money reliably and then deploy that capital. And in this current 50-year environment where developing countries are reliant on the dollar, the United States can harden the currency whenever they want to. They can soften the currency whenever they want to. And your currency, it's almost like a vicious cycle, because if you can issue debt in your own currency is inherently more stable. If you can't issue debt in your own currency and you have to take out foreign debt, your currency is less stable, and so fewer lenders want to lend in your currency. It's like a vicious cycle. There's almost, other than very rare exceptions, it's hard to break out of that system. And that's the world we live in, and that's the global situation, and I find that both unjust, but I think that the more people realize the injustice of that situation, and that realize it's not just the devaluation of your savings that matters, it's also the devaluation of your unit of account that matters.
Regardless, when examining its specific properties as money, most ways fiat is unimpressive. First, it is not scarce. It is systematically created out of thin air, with no limit on supply, nor can supply even be known. Fiat is willed into existence by politicians and banks because printing money enriches the printer at the expense of the public who holds the previously printed money. The phenomenon is known as inflation or currency debasement. Fiat also struggles with durability. Your fiat will only last so long as your bank permits, and even then it slowly loses its value. Your bank can destroy your fiat with the click of a button. Ask a Cypriot. Ask an Argentinian how durable fiat is. With fiat, you are ever dependent on a third party with your wealth. Is that an attribute of money that you find attractive? Some people are comfortable with it because they trust their government, but requiring trust in politicians seems a poor foundation upon which to build a prosperous society.
Just a quick interruption to say thank you for supporting our channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video content. It really does make a difference. Also, a quick mention and shout out to one of our sponsors, Birch Gold Group. With over 3 decades in the industry, Birch Gold Group is one of the most trusted companies for gold investing. Whether you are starting a brand new gold IRA or rolling over an existing account, the company will make this process seamless and stress-free. With endorsements from respected and renowned voices across America and one of the lowest investment minimums in the gold IRA industry, Birch Gold Group makes it easy to get started investing in precious metals. To find out more about Birch Gold Group and how this trusted gold investment company can help safeguard your coveted retirement savings, see the link in the video description to visit Birch Gold's official site to receive a free gold investing guide. Also, check out our video review of Birch Gold Group by clicking the link in the top right. Now, back to the episode.
The value density of gold is definitely a factor. Karl Menger, the Austrian school, defines it as the most marketable commodity. we're physical beings that live in the physical world. There's a time when you need to be able to take your marbles home and not play in the system at all. But that means taking home a physical good. You're a physical creature. You live in a physical home. You need to take something home and say, I'm done. I've gotten final delivery, final payment. This is it. I'm holding it. And when you look at all the various commodities, people talk about crude as a currency, for example, crude oil. The amount of crude oil to be the equivalent value of a new car would be like a swimming pool. So, the idea of where would you like your convoy of tanker trucks to deliver your crude, sir, it just becomes highly impractical. I'm a big fan of kind of reducing things to something that's perceptually obvious. With the same amount of gold as that value of crude oil would be about the size of a large format iPhone. You could stick it in your pocket and walk down the street. And so the value density of gold, is definitely a factor.
I do a lot of public speaking and writing, as you know, on these topics. And one of the questions I'm asked most frequently is, hey Jim, when's it going to be? What's it going to be? Almost as if I'm supposed to call them at 3:30 in the afternoon the day before, and they're like, oh, I'll sell all my stocks at the close and buy gold the next day. It doesn't work that way. I can see it coming, and I can describe the dynamics, and I can understand the magnitude of the risk, but I'm not going to know what day it is because it's going to be some unexpected event that maybe none of us see coming. I can just tell you it is coming. So first of all, position yourself now. What I recommend to investors, you want about 10% gold. Maybe a little more if you want to lean into it if you have a higher risk appetite, but not much less than that.
Gold holds a proven, time-tested track record as an economic constant that spans millennia. Why is it important to have an economic constant? What is the main question every person planning their retirement or building a business needs to ask themselves? Are we growing wealth or losing wealth? And how do we measure this? Gold is that tool. With a 5,000-year record that has withstood every economic business cycle, stock market booms and busts, global conflicts, and outlasting every faith-based fiat currency, gold is no one's liability. It builds wealth while preserving it. Owning physical gold and precious metals requires responsible sourcing of grades, purity, condition, the best prices, transparency, and most of all, security and storage. Gold IRAs are a tax-deferred means of owning physical gold and ensuring all these investing principles are met. We have reviewed and vetted the best gold IRA companies that meet all these requirements. See the link in the video description to access the free gold investment guides. If you have $100K of retirement savings to protect and want to take advantage of the best gold prices, see the link in the video description to sign up for the free Gold and Silver Web Conference hosted by Augusta Precious Metals. Thank you for watching.